aboard!
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Woodsman Wack-Off, the series that puts two woodsmen face to face to see which competitor can whack off their log the fastest. In today's episode, we match up the legendary Husqvarna 2100 CD to the also legendary Husqvarna 395 XP. The 2100 CD is a whopping 99 cc's of displacement. It was one of the very first modern big saws introduced in 1979 and had a strong run up through 1987, where it was discontinued to make way for its successor, the Husqvarna 395 XP. Well, sort of. The 394 came first and the 2101 XP was in between and blah blah blah. Whatever. The 395 XP wasn't actually introduced until 2001, and I kind of think it's still being produced today, just maybe not in the United States of America. But anyways, the 395 is actually only 93.6 cc, so it has to give up a little bit of displacement, but it's a little bit lighter and it's much more technologically advanced in design. Operators of the day are Binford, the one and only bad boy himself. Once on a felling job deep in the woods, his pull rope broke, and Binford took it upon himself to braid a new pull rope using his own pubic hairs as fibers. That same rope is now on display at the Playboy Mansion. Now let's get it on. All right, there's one Binford slicking his hair back, and there's the second Binford. Both of them fire up those big saws with no real issue. Look at that, the 2100 doesn't even have a brake. Binford just spins it back. All right, here we are, revving them up, sinking them down into the 14 by 14 inch red oak. Look at those monsters dig. My goodness, they're pulling chips. And the 395 comes out on top with the gentle stroke down the shaft. Here we are for the tug up. And again, both of these big monster saws just digging in. Look at the big high top on that 395 for air filtration. It looks like, oh my goodness, the 2100 handles its business and it takes it into tug up. And here we are on the vice grip, really choking that log. It wants it. And my goodness, it looks like, oh gosh, the 395 walks away and whoops the old boy. The old codger, and Binford says, to hell with you. So your winner of the day is officially the 395 XP. So the newer design saw is able to take on its old man and show him the ropes. Let's see what Bodie has to say about it. These whack-offs are fun. These whack-offs are fun. So, lately I have seen another channel. Nothing has been said, and it's all good. It's all good, But, I can't help but feel whenever somebody talks about a silly channel or, oh, well, that's a different way, you know what I mean? I can't help but feel like they're talking about my channel. Because I do things quite differently. I am based on entertainment value more than I am on this is how you do it value, because the name of my channel, if you look down there, if you're not familiar with it, it's called the Novice Lumberjack, which means I'm pretty good, but that's about it. I am definitely no pro, never claimed to be one, and I probably never will be a pro. I represent the billions of people on this planet who can do it and choose to do it instead of hiring a pro. So, but the channel, though, it's all about the entertainment. I want to make you guys laugh. I want us to have fun. And, there's a lot of folks that, I'm not that crude to where I'm not over the line, because I can get that. Whenever it's really crude, some person can't stop saying the F word, things like that. I get that. That's too much. That's overboard, guy. You're bugging me at this point. I get it. I don't think that I'm at that level. If you think that I am, then that's fine. You nobody has been a turd about it or anything like that. But you can tell that some people want to snub their nose at my jokes, like the woodsman wack-off. See which competitor can whack off their log the fastest. I ain't saying anything, but I'm kind of saying something, and that's just fun. That's just fun, I'm just having fun. But anyways, I totally get it, though, if some people thinks that, Jesus is going to come down and get them for watching my channel, But am I being a bad influence? If you call getting out and busting my ass to turn out these videos so that I can actually have a career making something, being creative, and enjoying the shit out of what I'm doing, if that's a bad example, well, then you parent your own kids. And nobody said anything, but I have gotten the feeling from a couple different sources that there's some people that are going, oh, he just doesn't have to be like that. Well, the reason me being like that is the reason this channel is growing. So there's a lot more people that'll laugh at my shenanigans than there are that will turn up their nose on it like you have. So, anyways, it doesn't matter. The $3.95, I think, pretty handily, it took care of its business. Boy, it's always the tug up, isn't it? It's always the tug up that gets it. If there's ever a 2-to-1 win in one of these whack-offs, it's always because of the tug up. I don't know what, I do know that it's much easier to balance the load on the saw. It's much easier to balance the load on the saw during the tug up than it is when you're digging in your dogs. When you're digging in your dogs, I find it extremely, whenever you're trying to shove that saw through the wood, then I find it very easy to overdog it. And so, yeah, there we go. I think it is for most people. Some people may act like it's not because they've never had to do something like what I'm doing, which is, I'm trying to get very specific results out of these saws in this wood. And, I'm not just going out there with my buddy and he cuts on this end and I cut on this end and I go, oh yeah, this one was faster. I knew it. It gets pretty damn technical what I'm doing. Not like it's hard or anything, but it is different whenever you're really trying very hard to get perfect performance out of these saws. The 2100, that went to a fella, he subscribes to the channel, I can't remember his name. He's up in Jersey, I think. which is so weird to me. Or maybe it's Delaware. It's so weird to me that anybody in those states right there would be would be cutting any wood. It's so weird. Yeah, it gets cold up there. You need firewood, but I don't know. I just think of that as all city, but it's not. There's actually some beautiful land out there. Gary, he subscribes to the channel. I have actually been to his place. Lovely place, and he's got a boat business. And, he's all into the hobby. He's got tons of chainsaws, and he loves cutting wood for the wintertime. So it's always really odd. Well, like a perfect example is New York. A lot of people think of New York State as nothing but New York City, when it is absolutely, completely the opposite. New York State is beautiful countryside. I mean, it is beautiful, lovely, wonderful. And whenever so many people, they think of New York, all they think of is the city. And that is just a little fraction of that big, big state. It is a lovely state. So, but yeah, my 2100 went to a fella, I think in Jersey, maybe Delaware or Rhode Island or something like that. And to say I regret selling it is no, that's not true. I don't regret that. But do I miss having it? Yeah, absolutely. It was a cool saw to say, hey, look at this. Hey, look at this. Whoa. Because, even collectors, most collectors haven't ever seen a 2100 CD. Not that they're that rare, it's old, and it is hard, they're an expensive saw to get and stuff like that, but most people, even real tree people that are in the business, it seems like most of them are in residential business. And almost no one has a 2100 CD in residential tree care. They may have in the 80s, maybe, but those are hard to come by saws. So even a lot of real pros that have actually really truly been collecting and things like that, they still haven't seen a 2100 CD. It just, it's like my Poland 5200. How many of y'all out there have actually laid hands on a Poland 5200? Not many. So it's a cool saw to have, and I kind of miss having it, the 2100 that is. So, and it was strong, man, it was strong. And like the 395 kind of feels like an automatic transmission. It is technically, I guess, but so is the 2100. But the 2100 was brutal, as if it was a stick shift. You get what I'm saying? An old stick shift, like like a 1970 CUDA. That thing. Whenever it would hit, it just pulled, and that clutch, it felt like that clutch was a solid connection. Whereas the 395 might be a little bit more prone to slip in the cut, which creates a softness, which is what you want. There was nothing wrong with that 395 clutch, nothing wrong. But there is a softness that the modern saws tend to have that some of the old ones didn't. And, that's just the way it is. They vibrated more, they were louder, and their power hit and was throwing chips. And so even though the thing wasn't faster than the 395, I guarantee if you ran them both and didn't have any timer, you would think that the 2100 was faster. Because, man, it felt brutal. It would dig at that chain in. It was crazy how brutal it felt. And I will say that the 592 feels similar in its brutality. You know, the 592 is a nice saw. It is very smooth, but I have ran it with an aggressive chain, and it just, I don't know, just imagine a frickin' badger going at the wood. You know, it's really cool to run those saws. Big saws like that. It is extremely fun, especially if all you're doing is picking it up and cutting another chunk of firewood. Picking it up and cutting another chunk of firewood. That is nice, because then a big saw doesn't really matter all that much. If all you're doing is just, you know, busting out a log, you know, that's turning it into, bucking it up into firewood, then that's just right. If you have to use that thing to twist and turn and cut limbs off, even the 592, which is, you know, I mean, it's not huge heavy, but whenever you got a saw that big, nah, give me a 50 or 60 cc saw to do that kind of work. I mean, why tire yourself out? And in big and in little wood, the big saw is not faster than a little one. You know, the little one can spin, you know, 10,000 plus RPMs in a little branch, just like a big one can. So the little saw is just as fast. So give me the little one. But anyways, how's it going, guys? Everything is good on this end. Took a couple days off, Sunday and Monday. Sorry you didn't have a video, but you know, I got to rest at some point. And tomorrow's video is going to be a lesson in how to destroy drill bits, as I try to create a custom length Sugihara bar. More on that tomorrow. I've got to finish it up today, which means I've got to go get new drill bits, because my gosh, that is some hard steel. I mean, I knew it going into it, you know, of course, but man, a drill bit won't make it all the way through. Not what I got, anyways. These are pretty good drill bits. Charlie did, you know, he did a video about a decent set of cheap drill bits. I might have to look into that. He said he got a couple holes drilled out of one bit, you know. So I'm not even able to get one hole drilled, and it just bends it over. But I'm going to go, I've got a good, it's a welding supply store, and anytime I need to get good bits like this, that's where I'm going. And so I'll go and I'll get my drill bits there. Got to get me a couple more of these sanding discs, the cutoff wheels. I can't get it here. The cutoff wheels, the little tiny ones for a Dremel, because I'll have to get in there and get down into that groove like that. But anywho, it's going to be a really, really busy October for me. I still have to record all of my Halloween wack-off series that I'm planning. I'm falling behind. I'm slipping, boys. And girls. Turns out I got a couple girls that follow the channel. which is cool. Yeah, so I guess that's it. I ain't got nothing else to say. Got to run into town, get some drill bits and stuff. Gonna have to get me a little bit of 058 steel chain, because the bar that I'm going to be running on my 54cc Poland over there for Sawfest, it requires 058 chain, which I don't want to buy it, but whatever. I guess I'm going to, I guess I'm going to. But yeah, we got a few more things to do on that. Make some decals for it. Should be a pretty good looking saw. Fun saw, It ain't going to be nearly as fast as, I'll probably fall, as long as my cuts are good. With that saw, I'll probably fall around 6th place if there's 10 people. I'm hoping, but I ain't worried about it one bit, Oh, Charlie, he's got a fast little 4910 that the only thing I can do is cross my fingers and hope that he screws up his cookies, you know what I mean? And I know there'll be other people there. I don't know them. Looking forward to meeting them. I really look forward to meeting Doug. I'm sure he's going to have, I bet you he's going to run his little Dolmar 50cc. I can't remember what it's called. I think his 50cc Dolmar is actually a Makita, though. I don't know what he's got, and I don't know what he's going to be running. But I really look forward to meeting everybody. And there's no drama on my end coming in. So I have nothing but good, pleasurable feelings about everybody, and I really look forward to meeting everyone. And so far, I haven't had to deal with much at all negativity on my channel, and I think it's all because of, my channel is more of a entertainment-based, really, but also I've been very open with, I'm not sure about this. I'm just learning. I'm trying this. And therefore, people tend to keep their opinions on you're wrong and you're an idiot out of it. And thank goodness, because I don't want to deal with that crap. It's so weird to me. Whatever, I've talked about it before. I always seem to get on this. It's like, what the hell? What? Why does anybody care that this guy does it different than you do it? I don't know. That's weird. I don't know. I don't care who you hug and kiss. I don't care how you build your saws. All I care about is if you're nice to people and helpful, and that's about it. But mostly I don't even give a shit about that. It's whether or not you're nice to me and mine. And that's it. We ain't got no problems. I don't care if you don't like this guy over here. That's just me. Anyways, I gotta go later.